we're joined by Paul Craig Roberts. He is the former Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Treasury, joining us via Skype from Atlanta. Sir, welcome to the program. Well, as the situation unfolds in the case against Mr. Strauss-Kahn, reports say the information has been tainted or flawed. Now, what prompted the district attorney to issue an arrest warrant, which led to harsh treatment of the former IMF chief in the first place?
Well, that's the question no one knows the answer to. He was arrested on the basis of the word of a hotel maid. And when the police arrested him, they painted him as guilty. They held press conferences and they said that the case against him was secure. But now the prosecutor has had to go to the judge and say that they have lost confidence in their case, that they no longer trust the account given by the hotel maid, that she lied about some things. And today, a New York newspaper, the New York Post, reported that they have information that the maid was actually a prostitute and that she worked the hotel servicing the customers. Now, we don't know what's true and what's not true. One of the indications that's very revealing is that the political team of the French president, Sarkozy, who expected to be challenged for the presidency next year by Strauss-Kahn, his political team knew of Strauss-Kahn's arrest before the New York police announced it. So this has fueled the speculation that this was a setup to destroy Strauss-Kahn as a presidential candidate and to remove him from the International Monetary Fund, where he was beginning to question the bailouts of the banks at the expense of the ordinary people, the ordinary citizens. So it looks like he may have been removed because he was a political challenge to the president and was beginning to challenge the approach to the bailout.
You'll find that they've also asked for the right to imprison farmers who wouldn't keep books as prescribed by the federal government. The Secretary of Agriculture asked for the right to seize farms through condemnation and resell them to other individuals. And contained in that same program was a provision that would have allowed the federal government to remove 2 million farmers from the soil.
If you live in the heartland of America, you have to listen up. While the nation was distracted with the Anthony Weiner drama, President Obama signed an executive order that will seize greater power over food, fiber, and energy in our vast countryside areas. The president created the White House Rural Council to, quote, make sure we're working across government to strengthen rural communities and promote economic growth. Sounds great, but get this. The council involves a long list of the most powerful people in America. Treasury Secretary Tim Geithner, the Defense Secretary's on it, Attorney General Eric Holder, even the head of Homeland Security, Janet Napolitano. Why would Homeland Security be involved in exerting power and influence over the heartland? Why would the Defense Department be involved in promoting economic growth? The plan calls for the federal government to control almost every aspect of rural America. It'll also, quote, identify and facilitate economic opportunities associated with energy development, outdoor recreation, and other conservation-related activities. Really? When did hunting and fishing become associated with conservation-related activities? And by the way, what does that mean? The aims of the White House Rural Development Plan sound eerily similar to a UN plan called Agenda 21, where a central planning agency would be responsible for oversight into all areas of our lives, a one world order. Sound familiar?
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Sunday, July 3rd, 2011, and I'm Darko. This is my website, www.ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. Or you can visit my YouTube channel, ddarko2012. I have a lot of older videos that are they're not even on my blog, but they're on there, and you can check that out. I posted a poll up here. You can check it out. I was the first one to vote, so you know what I voted for. It says here, how do you think the situation in Libya will end? And it is either Gaddafi will remain the leader and Libya will remain a sovereign nation, or Gaddafi will either step down or be assassinated and Libya will lose its sovereignty. That's what I voted for. The second one, or neither, because if you may not agree with one of those options, or not sure, so you can check that out. All right, well, we have U.S. stocks surge most since July 2009 on Greece. Manufacturing U.S. stocks posted the biggest weekly rally in 2 years, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average rising 648 points after Greece took action to avoid default. And a lot of people didn't want that, especially the future generations who are going to have to basically go through all these austerity measures. So all the older people, I'm not sure if they're going to actually live through it, but hey, most of their life they've had their pensions, they've had all that stuff, all these public works that they paid into, and all these younger people are paying all these taxes, right? It's all about the roads and the police department and all these municipal benefits, and now they're all going to be gutted because the bankers rob them blind. And so these young people are out there protesting, and then they just show cameras and say, oh, see, they're anarchists. No, that's because they steal from the unborn. And that's basically what they do. They steal from the future to pay for the present. And to me, that's kind of immoral, right? It says here, I mean, it'd be one thing if they actually had a treasury. Each country has a treasury with actual money sitting in there, and they didn't have to just take everything from a central reserve bank on interest. But see, that's as I like to put it, the Zionist banker scam. That's what it is. Oil falls on, and that's what they're trying to do to Gaddafi in Libya, of course, right? In the Middle East. That's the final front, I guess you can say. Oil falls on weak China data, economic worry. Oil fell on Friday on signs of slower growth in China and weaker U.S. consumer sentiment. And then we have here, and there was an article, I'm not going to cover it, but it was talking about how the oil supplies are actually the highest they've been in a long time, but still high gas prices. And it's good for some people, especially when oil is traded in U.S. dollars and that. Gold falls on weak commodities and fewer safety bids. Then we're going to move to Greece. Greece to receive $12 billion bailout. And then we move to this next article up here. Just waiting for my computer here. It's kind of glitching and slow. And, man, I love technology because I can get the word out to you guys. But, man, I tell you, I have the worst freaking luck with technology. It's just, pull my hair out, man. It's like this every time. Greece cannot, but I still love and enjoy doing it. So just, Greece cannot borrow its way out of this debt crisis. Greece should leave the euro, devalue, and make credit available for private sector led growth. And wait for this. Okay, Greece awaits further rescue. And then we have Eurozone finance ministers signed off on a new slice of bailout money for Greece, avoiding a financial meltdown this month, but left themselves with a heavy task ahead to work out details for a new rescue package for the country. You got to rescue them. You're such humanitarians as you enslave people, right? It says here, Italian cabinet approves austerity plan. So going down the same road, the Italian cabinet has adopted an austerity plan aimed at protecting the country from Greek debt crisis and avoiding the budget deficit in 2014. And then we'll move on here. Minnesota shutdown 2011. State government shuts down, and most likely they're just playing politics, because if they actually did shut down the government, people would actually start to be free, and who knows, they might prosper and they might succeed from the union and create their own currency, and we don't want that. So trust me, they won't do it for that long. That's why they usually just throw out threats of doing it to scare the sheeple, because they don't know and they don't understand. They're scared because they don't understand it, what a stateless society really is. It says here, debt increased more under Geithner than any Treasury Secretary in U.S. history, and of course he wants to try to raise the debt ceiling there. And then what? Ooh, he's mauling to leave. So Treasury, this little guy, Mr. Geithner, is going to, like I said before, sell American people down the river and the future of this country, and then he's going to jump ship like all the other cowards. U.S. auto sales remain subdued. U.S. auto sales rose 7.1% in June, but remained sluggish for the second straight month as short supply of small cars from Japan and economic concerns continue to weigh on consumer demand. And I believe that was basically weather warfare and economic warfare in Japan that went on It says here, mortgage rates mixed over past week. Mortgage rates in the U.S. were mixed over the past few weeks amid conflicted readings on the strength of the U.S. economy. And that was according to Freddie Mac's weekly survey. U.S. home prices unlikely to fall further. It says homes in the U.S. are most affordable they've been in decades, and prices may start to climb as soon as the third quarter, Housing and Urban Development Society said. Then we have this. U.S. 2-year notes snap longest win streak since 1984 on Greece U.S. data. Then we have service slowdowns fuel China's slumps as China's non-manufacturing industries expanded at the slowest pace in 4 months in June, adding to concerns that efforts to tame inflation and curbing growth in the world's second biggest economy. And we're going to move on here to China again, just waiting on my computer. Here we go. China likely to raise interest rate in the third quarter. And then we have this. China opens oil field in Iraq. And then here's some news that will help raise the American spirit of being free and prosperous and producing things and building things. But it's not so. New San Francisco bridge built in China to be shipped to the United States. Oh, just like those big windmills off I-65 in Indiana, these humongous windmill farms. I mean, these things are huge, and you can see as far as the eye can see. And what? Oh, they were all shipped from the West Coast from China. Yes, that's right. Australians must increase productivity. It makes you wonder, what the hell are we doing in the United States? What are we building? What are we manufacturing? Are we just consuming? Australians must increase productivity. I'll tell you what, all we're doing is building bombs and bullets and eugenics facilities. That's what we are. And we also manufacture mercenaries. Yeah, we raise them, we propagandize them, give them all the right video games and programming, and we unleash them out to just wreak havoc and just carry out whatever the agenda may be. Australians must increase productivity, says a Treasury head. And he said he's warning Australians of facing declining living standards if they do not increase productivity. Wow, that's about as bad as you get when you're talking to a slave, right? And, they're slaves. So we're all slaves. Save harder and work longer, experts say. So see here, now here comes the propaganda being disseminated to the slaves after the Treasury gives orders to the workforce. Average Australians will need to work until the age of 65 and have at least $500,000 in their superannuation, whatever that is, accounts if they want to live comfortably in retirement. And it says if you're an average senior citizen, that figure will leave you short of cash for the last year or so. And this number, you can pretty much put it to 85 and 90. That's if you live through all the eugenics. Private sector pensions plummet while public sector pensioners are unaffected by falls in annuity rates. Those in the private sector have seen pension incomes drop. And then moving on here to Ukraine MP, says here to back privatization of Europe-bound gas pipes. So they're going to privatize those gas lines. Then we have global train wreck coming. You can read that. And then we have climate policies need new tools, advisors say. As I said, they're not falling fast enough, talking about greenhouse emissions, and they need FANGs, carbon tax comp for medical equipment users. So this is a good way to show it. It says much awaited carbon tax. What? The federal government's much awaited carbon tax. I don't know about you, but I'm not waiting for that SOB compensation package. It says here will include an additional payment to 110,000 households that rely on essential medical equipment because of this carbon tax, the people would basically die. So, they want to act like they have a heart. And, so everything that you pay, and now you have to pay the price of carbon and energy. And that's why you'll see these smart meters probably in the next 5 years or so, right? Don't know if they'll be mandatory. They always do it voluntary at first. And then when they get enough support from the slaves, then they make it mandatory. Push to can coal puts 200,000 jobs at risk in Australia. The Greens' push to shut down the coal industry could severely undermine the nation's economy and sacrifice 200,000 jobs. Okay, then we have the city lashes out at EPA. Bloomberg administration says unnecessary rules, wasting billions of dollars. That's talking about in New York. And Great Aussie Dream downsizes as house block areas slash. House blocks shrink to less than 200 square feet. And it says backyard foodie, a thing of the past. Finishing up here for this video, the Great Australian Dream faces a major reality check with new home buyers being offered house blocks a quarter of size that their parents bought. Lagarde is the first woman IMF chief on June 28th. Then a Thailand woman is the first female. Then look at this, Strauss-Kahn, July 2nd, they release him.